The KXAN News Podcast is sponsored by Shelf Genie. Breaking news from KXAN News.
Following that breaking news for you this morning, a woman is dead after a car ended up in Lake Austin.
This happened just within the last hour, starting as a water rescue before 4 this morning. For some context of where this is by Mozart's Coffee Roasters. The Hula Hut restaurant is there also. There's some boat rentals on Lake Austin. This is along Lake Austin Boulevard in Enfield. We also have a live look at the situation right now. Austin Fire saying a car was 20 feet off of the edge of the water, the shoreline there, and submerged in the water. First responders pulling a woman from the car, giving her CPR.
And you can see the scene is still very active with the Austin Police Department and the Austin Fire Department on the scene. We're told that the woman did die, and we're waiting for more information to learn why the car was in the water. We'll continue our live look throughout the newscast for you and get more information as it comes in. Again, a woman dead after her car, or a car, goes into the lake. Austin ISD wants your help in the search for the next superintendent. That's our other top story this morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sally Hernandez.
And I'm Tom Miller. AISD is offering virtual in-person opportunities for families, staff, and members of the community to tell them the qualities they're hoping to see in the next superintendent. The Board of Trustees needs to find someone who is the right fit to continue the work, and they believe that the AISD community knows what to look out for. Everyone is invited to participate in one or more of the district-wide town halls. They're this afternoon from 12 to 1. There's going to be that Zoom meeting, and tonight from 6 to 7 will be at Webb Middle School. Then tomorrow night from 6 to 7 will be at Ann Richards Young Women's Leadership Academy.
You can also share your thoughts by completing the superintendent profile survey, and that is next Wednesday. The search team will then develop a superintendent profile informed by the feedback that you give it, and then it gathers over the next few weeks.
Going in depth on this right now, Matias Segura serves as the interim superintendent, taking over the position back in January. He will not be a candidate for the superintendent position that the district's hoping to fill in July.
First warning weather with meteorologist Kristen Curry.
Well, good morning and welcome to your Tuesday. Welcome to all of our listeners on our podcast. We're wishing you a good day, and I think the weather's going to cooperate for you. Here's a live look outside our Ewell Kubota weather camera there in Georgetown. You'll notice right underneath the lights, looks a little blurry. We've got some fog issues this morning. No alerts to tell you about yet, but the visibility is down across the Austin Metro into portions of Caldwell County. Right now, San Marcos recording a visibility of about 3 miles right now, less than 1.5 miles in Cameron. So we know what to do. Slow your speeds and make sure that as far as the lights go, you are keeping those high beams off. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. It is very comfortable. I mean, these kind of temperatures, not normal for the beginning of March, but we'll hold on to it. And our temperature is even warmer than what we had yesterday. We are up 5 to 10 degrees here, warmer by 4 in Georgetown, 7 in Bastrop, warmer by 5 to 10 degrees out towards the hill country. Now from the 60s, we're likely to see those 70s. By lunch, forecast high today, 83, just a little bit warmer than yesterday. We're going to see the fog this morning, eventually some sunshine here as we get towards the later part of the afternoon, but not totally blue skies. I still think we're going to hang on to some of those partly cloudy conditions through the later part of today. Warm and humid. Well, again, that's going to be something we can expect both today and tomorrow. Got a pair of cold fronts to tell you about the 7-day forecast, though, both likely to bring at least a small chance of rain. I'll fill you in on the details here coming up in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Kristen. New gun control bills could be introduced at the state capitol today. These come from the state lawmaker representing Uvalde and includes one piece that's failed in previous sessions.
Yeah, State Senator Roland Gutierrez's bills include closing what he calls the gun show loophole. Federal law requires background checks for people buying firearms, though a federally licensed firearm dealer, but not for sales between the private citizen, sometimes referred to as the gun show loophole.
Gutierrez has already filed several bills targeting school safety. These include increasing law enforcement funding and more controversial measures like raising the gun purchase age to 21. Gutierrez told KXAN some Senate Republicans have privately voiced their support for that age change. Top Republicans in the state, though, including the governor, say they believe the age change would be unconstitutional.
Well, San Marcos ISD could one day allow its employees to carry firearms on every school campus.
The school board discussed the possibility of a school marshal program at its meeting last night. Some parents not sold on that idea.
I don't think this makes our schools more secure. I really think they need to look at other solutions than just this.
The Texas Commission on Law Enforcement says there are 256 marshals in the state in 62 school districts. That's as of last July. The San Marcos School Board president said she's heard of instances in rural areas where the programs worked well. No action came from that discussion, though. Going in depth, Thorndale ISD implemented its Guardian program a few years ago. This allows teachers to arm themselves and get trained on how to respond to certain dangerous situations. The teachers go through multiple trainings each year with former and current law enforcement. District leaders wouldn't tell us how many teachers are part of that program. However, they did say more teachers joined this year. They also wouldn't tell us if the guns are issued by the district or if the teachers own their own guns. Almost 60 school districts across Texas have switched to a 4-day school week. Some of those districts recently approved the change for next school year. TEA Commissioner Mike Morass says the effectiveness depends on how districts implement that schedule. He says schools must maximize instructional time on the 4 class days. Any disruptions like field trips, extracurriculars, they need to be moved to the non-class day.
There's a subset of districts that when they make those sets of shifts, it does not reduce student achievement. I still don't actually have any data that shows that it increases student achievement. It just, if all of those conditions are true, it is not openly harmful to student achievement. But if all of those conditions are not true, the data is pretty clear. It just reduces student achievement.
Right now on KXAN.com, we have an interactive map of all the districts that made the switch. You can also read more on why districts are shortening their weeks and what they hope to get out of it.
Coming up, Americans kidnapped at gunpoint in Mexico moments after crossing the Texas border. What the FBI is now offering for their safe return.
And spring has sprung here in Austin, and what that means for the festival season, the city, what it's doing to prepare for a surge in crowds.
Good morning, everyone. We continue to look at the investigation that is unfolding near the lake this morning. This is near Lake Austin, and we can tell you that a woman was pulled from a car that was submerged into the water. The Austin Fire Department and the Austin Police Department are both there on the scene. The woman did not make it. We're trying to get more information from our reporter who's heading to the scene and our photographer right now who's giving us a live look at the situation. Austin Fire says the vehicle was about 20 feet off the water when they first got there. They pulled the woman from the car and gave her CPR. She did die on the scene. We're waiting to learn more information why the car was in the water. Now, are you and your family traveling soon for spring break? If you want to fly together without paying that extra seating cost, there's a new tool to help you.
The Department of Transportation is pressuring airlines to let families sit together for free. Just rolled out a new dashboard allowing travelers to find free family seating.
One of the ways we found we can get the best results from airlines is just through transparency.
We certainly want to give credit to the Department of Transportation for taking action on this, but we also want to make it very clear that this will not be enough.
So far, Alaska, Frontier, and American have all agreed to participate. Advocates point out the guarantees from airlines aren't necessarily permanent. Right now, they're just changes that they've made to their customer service policies. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg saying his department working on the regulations now, adding he is, quote, going to keep pushing to make the passenger experience better.
Well, the FBI is working with Mexico's federal authorities to find 4 Americans who may have been kidnapped. It happened Friday, shortly after crossing the U.S.-Mexico border in a minivan. Police say the group was met with gunfire, taken into another vehicle at gunpoint. The FBI says it was after the group crossed into a city just south of the Texas city of Bronzeville. According to U.S. officials, they were coming to Matamoros for a medical procedure. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for their safe return.
Still ahead,
it's been an issue.
Concerns over people experiencing homelessness on South Congress, what neighbors are experiencing there, what the city's doing about it.
This KXAN News podcast is brought to you by Shelf Genie. I'm Rosie Newberry from KXAN Studio 512. Considering replacing your kitchen cabinets? Struggling to find or reach things? Go to shelfgenie.com/Austin. Shelf Genie designs custom pull-out shelves for your existing cabinets, adding convenience and value to the most used room in your home. Shelf Genie custom pull-out shelves, everything in reach.
Good morning. We continue to follow that breaking news from Lake Austin, where a woman is dead after her car went into the water. Police reporting that the car was in about 20 feet off the shoreline, sitting deep in the water. We do know that rescue crews tried to get out to that car and save the woman. They gave her CPR once they got her to the shore, but were unable to resuscitate her. Interestingly, there was a 911 caller who, according to the Austin Fire Department, knew the woman in the car. We can tell you that this is an area where there is a boat ramp. There is also a popular spot for people visiting Mozart's Coffee Roasters, Hula Hut. You see now the Austin Police Department has taken over this scene, putting up some of that crime tape to keep anyone outside of what is now apparently a crime scene. They're going to continue to investigate. We will bring you live updates throughout this morning newscast as we learn more information.
Well, there could be a new move in the state legislature to try and revive Fairfield Lake State Park.
The parkland has been leased out for decades, then closed last week for good. The owner selling the parkland to a developer. This is an hour or so east of Waco in Freestone County. Yesterday, though, State Senator Charles Schwertner filed a new bill, and this could grant the power of eminent domain to take back the park. Right now, it's just a bill. We'll let you know what happens. Also this morning, Spring Festival season right around the corner here in Austin, and events like South by Southwest, Dell Match Play, they are coming and bringing tens of thousands of people.
So the question is our city ready with all the staffing shortages? Can we handle those crowds? KXAN's Nabil Ramadna reports on the extra planning the city is doing to prepare.
Spring has sprung in Austin. Well, not technically, but Spring Festival season has for sure.
Well, I'm here for South by Southwest EDU.
Matrice Gandy traveled to Austin from D.C.
I'm just looking forward to seeing it. I, hear so much about South by Southwest, and so I'm just excited to be here.
South by Southwest is one of the first large events the city will hold over the next few months. A few others include Dell Match Play, Rodeo Austin, and the ABC Kite Festival.
As we welcome all these visitors and we plan for these events that add to the vibrancy of our city and bolster our economy, we recognize it puts an added strain on city resources.
And with some departments facing shortages like the Austin Police Department and 911 call center, how will this impact service?
This is not uncharted territory. With or without the staffing problem, we're all hands on deck. The same number of positions that we need to keep South by Southwest safe is the same this year as it was last year, and we have those positions filled.
APD will offer overtime to fill positions. They'll also turn to detectives.
Whenever those levels fall below minimum, we have detectives that backfill it. That has to take away from their investigative duties in order to backfill patrol to make sure we have enough people on the street.
In recent years, people have complained about having to wait too long when calling 911, not just during the festival season, but year-round. Austin just launched one effort to fix that problem, using artificial intelligence to handle some reports. As for Gandy, she says she feels safe and always makes sure to be vigilant in any city she visits.
I'm always aware no matter what city it is, but nothing in particular in Austin stands out as like dangerous.
Nabil Ramadna, KXAN News.
Certainly feels like spring, even though, like you mentioned, not technically there yet.
Yeah, you were right on yesterday when you said sunshine in the afternoon.
Yes, we got rid of the clouds. It was nice and humid.
It was.
Let me show you what's going on with your forecast, because today is going to look very similar to what you had yesterday. So if you liked it, I've got good news. If you hated it, it's going to be a long week. Clouds and radar not showing anything too exciting. I want to zoom this out because you'll notice how quiet we are over the Gulf of Mexico. We're underneath the influence of high pressure, so we're right on that western edge. Not expected to see anything in the way of major weather changes, at least for the next 3 days. Things sort of change as we get you into Friday, but currently sitting at 67 degrees, winds are calm, humidity notable. 97% humidity this morning, and those humidity levels stay elevated through the day. Your temperatures are in the 50s and 60s, 65 Georgetown, 67 in Bastrop. We've got those temperatures in the upper 50s to 60s out in the hill country. As we look forward through the day, we turn those 50s and 60s this morning into upper 70s by lunchtime. Your forecast high 83 with that morning fog and low cloud cover dissipating some to a partly sunny sky this afternoon. So let me show show you that. If I put this into motion, you'll notice not only do we see some fog, but high resolution model still holding on to the chance that we could see a little mist, little drizzle, similar to what you saw yesterday. Nothing big, nothing that's going to measure into anything that I'm excited about, but we do clear some of that cloud cover out in the later part of the afternoon, looking at mainly to partly sunny skies. Overnight, we do the whole thing over again. Clouds come back, drizzle possible tomorrow morning, and we're going to see a little more sunshine as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Humidity noticeable over the next 3 days. Not until we get into Friday afternoon does it drop some, and that's going to be behind our first of 2 cold fronts. So what are we expecting? Well, Wednesday, tomorrow, we see a lot of cloud cover. Like I said, mainly in the first half of the day, a little more sunshine towards tomorrow afternoon. Then Thursday I think is going to be mainly cloudy through the day. Cold front to our north starts to slip a little further towards the south. So some storm chances and some rain chances overnight Thursday. Into Friday morning, cold front is eventually going to lift back to the north, and we're warm again on Saturday, but it looks like we'll get a second cold front in here Sunday into Monday. So a little back and forth with their temperatures. No cold front's going to drop us down to freezing or cold by any means. I'm more hoping we overperform the rain. Models kind of jumped up a little bit on a rainfall potential over the last 12 hours. It's expecting between now and next Tuesday, anywhere from 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch. We could use that. As far as the 7-day goes, it's the 80s today, 80s tomorrow, and 80s Thursday. Then our first cold front rolls in, takes off 10 degrees from those temperatures. We're still in the 70s. Better rain chances will come overnight Thursday into Friday morning. Then we pause things Saturday and most of the day Sunday. Next cold front rolls in late Sunday into Monday. Maybe some rain chances there, but more confident in the cooler temperatures, taking us from the 80s Sunday afternoon back down to the 70s come Monday.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Good morning to you. Spring practice is underway from the Longhorns as they started up just 2 months after that loss in the Alamo Bowl. Longhorns went to practice on Monday morning, and for Steve Sarkisian, it's always the never-ending conversation about the quarterback. And this year, of course, they've got the addition of prized recruit Arch Manning, graduated early, enrolled early, and now he's ready to compete with Quinn Ewers. He also pointed out, by the way, Xavier Worthy played the last part of the season with a broken hand. Back to the quarterbacks. Ewers, the incumbent, but he's not going to just go out and say that the job is his.
They all are open right now. I mean, I'm not worried about, who's going to be on the cover of what magazine next week. I'm more focused on, is each guy focusing on what they need to do to develop to be the best player that they can be? It's like anything. Quinn has an entire year of a head start, but I don't want to hold Arch back. I want to see how far he can take this thing and what it can look like. It's like anything. There's growing pains, we make a big deal out of the guy losing his ID twice the first couple of weeks of school, So he's a freshman in college, but he does take it serious and he wants to be really good. And the beauty of it, the guy, one of the guys he's competing with is taking it really serious and wants to be really good. And that competition should ultimately drive the best out of both of them. And that's what we're trying to create in our program at every position group. Because when you have that, that's when your level of play continually goes up and up and up. That's when you start seeing combine numbers go up from schools because you recruit well, you have a competitive environment, they all get better along the way.
Turn to basketball now. On Sunday, University of Texas women's sports information director Jeremy Rosenthal told Vic Schaefer when the awards come out, it will be Jenny Baranczyk, the Oklahoma head coach, that's coach of the year. Well, the sports information director was feeding him some misinformation, and it took Rory Harmon to clear things up Monday.
And whatever Jeremy told you last night was a complete lie. Congratulations to the Big 12 Coach of the Year.
The look on the coach's face when Harmon decided to take over the meeting, and he is the coach of the year. Speaking of Rory Harmon, well, defensive player of the year, and Harmon also named first team all Big 12. Ashley Jones from Iowa State is a player of the year. Deanna Gaston named first team all Big 12 on Monday, and Shayla Gonzalez not only a second team all Big 12 performer, but named the newcomer of the year. Gonzalez transferred from BYU. It's on to the Big 12 tournament. Texas plays Friday, and they'll play the winner of Thursday's game between K-State and Texas Tech. Longhorn baseball team back in action tonight at the Dish against Sam Houston State. Back to you.
We're working to create the infrastructure so that what can occur is when someone is not available, we say you can't camp there, the city says you can't camp there, there are places to go. So there's a coordinated effort to try to make to be humane and make sure that we're doing what we need to do with regard to the camping ban.
Austin's mayor acknowledging efforts to clean up homeless camping sites across the city ahead of the spring events. He described it as a coordinated effort, as you heard, to make sure that people have a safe place as thousands come into town for all of those different events. And the city says it will now send an outreach team to a South Congress neighborhood to address concerns about people experiencing homelessness in that area. It's the area north of Old Worth Street, across from Lively Middle School.
And neighbors tell KXAN's Brianna Hollis a group has become aggressive there, even lighting a fire near a condo complex last week.
I mean, it was a serious situation. Like, it was a serious fire.
Laura Ruiz says a group of people who camp in the alley near her condo complex started this fire last week. She says police have removed them from the area before, but they return and are consistently aggressive with her and her neighbors.
Given the safety issues and everything, like the fire, it's like a tinderbox, you know, it's just ready to erupt.
We're waiting to hear more back from the city about the incidents themselves, but AFD did confirm firefighters responded to the area for the fire on March 2nd.
Did you get a stick, buddy?
Ruiz says she's concerned about what will happen when crowds flock to South Congress for South by events.
Oh, y'all know it's gonna be a hot mess.
Austin Public Health told us Monday evening and now has more information about the issue, which is why the office plans to send an outreach team to the neighborhood.
Every day, it's do or die for them.
Anthony Jackson works with people experiencing homelessness across the city.
Until we, as a city and as a community, end homelessness in Austin, we're always going to have these type of situations every now and then, because for people experiencing homelessness, they're in a different mode than most of the people in the community. They're in survival mode.
Heartbreaking issue, and I don't know the answer. And I thank goodness, I'm not the one trying to fix it, because good Lord, I wouldn't hate that to bear that burden. But it's just something's got to give, man.
Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
You know, I bought this.
APD says that it gets involved in the homelessness-related calls when there's a disturbance or people refuse to leave a property. Officers can issue a criminal trespass notice if a property manager or a security guard is present and they ask the people to leave the property. APD also works with Austin Public Health to connect people experiencing homelessness with the right resources.
Thanks for joining KXAN News today. You can also listen to KXAN News Nightly every weekday after 5:30 p.m. for in-depth coverage on what matters most to you.